eBay.
All righty, welcome back on this Thursday morning. Big changes could be on the way, impacting the way that we produce fuel-efficient cars. We're talking about, electric cars and things like that.
Big new energy bill, co-sponsored by Congressman Brian Bilbray. A big help for Carlsbad and here in San Diego. And he's joining us this morning on the phone to talk about it. Good morning. How are you, Congressman?
Good morning.
Good morning. All right, we got a couple of cool environmental stories that you were involved in. We're going to get to the algae in a minute, but let's talk about this electric car, this fuel-efficient car that's being built up in Carlsbad.
Sorry, I keep getting the feedback from the sound booth, but the bill actually got through the correction in the law for Aptera cars, the car that can get 200 miles a gallon.
Yeah.
We finally got the correction that we didn't get in the so-called cap-and-trade bill for giving some equity to algae fuel, which is a really exciting breakthrough, a technology that not only will drive our cars but also work for diesels and for jet airplanes. So we really were able to get Democrats, Republicans working together. There was a congressman up north that who happened to be a Democrat, and we tooled up together with a whole group of guys that said, look, to heck with partisan bickering, let's try to straighten out the Washington laws and do what's good for the economy and for the environment. And this one actually looks really good, and I'm really proud of it.
Let me tell you something. It's just really a breath of fresh air to see both sides working together on an issue that's important.
Well, it's about time. It's been a lot of bickering going back and forth, but this is one that was so blatant. The science was on our side. The only reason not to move this legislation the way we did was just, lobbying politics by the ethanol industry and Detroit that didn't want to see a new type of car that could compete and show them what they should have been doing 20 years ago. And we finally got sort of shamed Washington in doing the right thing. And it was a really great bipartisan effort. And hopefully we'll see if people start working together now with making sure our regulations make it possible to build the cars here in San Diego while the scientists are making breakthroughs. It's sad that the algae fuel production has to be moved out of state because in California we haven't changed our regulations enough to allow this type of breakthrough technology to be produced in California within the decade. And we don't have time to wait for Sacramento to change its regs. We need to start going into production of algae fuel as soon as possible.
Yeah, there's actually an article in the UT today, Algae as Fuel Slow to Grow, it says in the business section of the UT this morning. Brian, hey, tell us a little bit about how this Aptera works. How does it get such great mileage?
Sandra, I'm sorry. I keep getting the sound booth cutting over the top of me. Ask that question again.
Asking about how the Aptera is able to get such great gas mileage. How does it work?
Well, the way the Aptera is done is first it's not steel. It's a new composite technology that's stronger than steel. It basically, Dan, it's a lot like the technology of the surfboards we have, only much thicker, and it's stronger and lighter than steel. And the fact that they're able to design the car from the teardrop back. They took the human body, basically put two humans in there. You got two golf club bags or two surfboards 8-foot long.
Yes.
All you need.
And then they built a teardrop around it and said, what is the most aerodynamic form? And that's why it doesn't have four wheels. The scientists found that there's 20% more wheel drag with a fourth wheel. So they spread out the front wheels and actually made it more stable with less wheels. And that was the big problem. Washington, who claims that the private sector should think out of the box more, ended up saying, oh, but if it doesn't have four wheels, it doesn't count, even though the scientists had proven that it works and in both stability and in aerodynamics. So they really went from the bottom up and redesigned it, much like what they did with the algae fuel. Rather than sort of accept your limitations and end up seeing what you end up, something that is substandard at the finish, the algae fuel was the same way of Aptera. They started all new. They said, how can we produce an algae that the end product will not be something that can burn, but will be 91 octane gasoline, true diesel, or true Jetco, so we can put it on our airplanes. And both those technologies where scientists said, we're not going to accept something mediocre or just good enough. We want to go to the best we can, so let's start from the beginning with the right approach. So at the end, we have a really workable, successful system that's better than what traditionally has been used.
Getting a look at what cars may look like in the future, hopefully, if you have it your way. Representative Brian Bilbray, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you.